Alright, well here's the square foot garden in November. It is November 9th and it's around probably 55 degrees Fahrenheit, and we have a lot of cold weather coming in this weekend. And we had a lot of rain last night, so I just wanted to show you guys what's growing. Not a lot this time of year, of course, but I'll show you my container garden and what I have in the garage too, and I'll show you the indoor grow system. So this will be a full tour of everything that I have growing around the house right now, okay? And it'll also give you an idea of what has survived freezing temperatures in my area. Now once it starts to get really cold consistently at night, I'll lose a lot of these plants that I'm going to show you, but some of them will do fine all through the winter. Okay, now look at how nice the celery looks. That looks just great. Then I have broccoli. I'm hoping that it will actually start to produce the broccoli head here shortly, but I just don't know, because usually I start to see something by this time of the year. So I don't know if I'll actually get broccoli or not. You know, you can always eat the leaves of broccoli too. Not that they have a lot of flavor. They're kind of tough, but I just wanted to let you know in case you're growing it too. I've just really been enjoying all of the dill, and I will lose that once we get those consistent cold temperatures. So what I'll probably do, since we're going to actually get down into the 20s I think this weekend, I'll probably just go ahead and clip all that dill, and I'll probably freeze some, and I'm just using it in just about anything I can right now. I used it in some Swedish meatballs last week and they were wonderful. Then I have, you know, just some spinach, and I have sugar snap peas over there, and they're just starting to flower. I will not get peas, I'm pretty sure, just because that's another one of those sensitive plants. It does survive a freeze, but once it gets really cold consistently, I lose my peas. I can eat the shoots. I can eat that whole vine if I want to, though. I showed y'all that in my How to Grow Sugar Snap Peas video. The turnip greens are looking great. I've really been enjoying these too. So I think I'm going to grow a lot more turnip greens next year. They're so good. I made a ham chowder with turnip greens. Just really good. So I want to share that recipe for you guys here soon, especially since a lot of us eat ham around the holidays. So it makes a really good way to use up some of your ham. And then, of course, you know, just some more sugar snap peas that are not trellised. And then scallions back there. I've been using a lot of scallions. And then right over here is my lemongrass. And you can see it's affected by the cold weather. It's starting to turn a little bit brown on me. What I'll do, probably tomorrow, because our really cold night's going to be Saturday night, what I'll do tomorrow on Saturday is I will cut back a lot of those leaves, and then I'm going to dig up the stalk of the lemongrass there at the bottom, which is perfectly fine. It's been insulated by all the leaves of the lemongrass, so there won't be any problem there. And then over here in this bed, the cilantro is just beautiful right now, and I've been enjoying that. A lot of cilantro. Dill, more dill of course, and then I have some baby arugula here. I don't know how cold it can get and that will still survive. I'm just not sure. I think it's a little bit more tolerant of cold temperatures, more tolerant than lettuce. So we'll just see how that goes. And then I have, of course, more broccoli, and then some lettuce down through here. Just scattered throughout the bed. And just the reason why I don't cover my beds in the winter, I used to do that to, you know, protect things like broccoli, but it's just really too much trouble. I grow stuff indoors too, and so I really just don't need to do that. So I just leave them exposed to the elements, and it has helped me learn what I can grow without cover, and just makes my life a little bit easier. And then also over here in this bed, I have a lot of carrots growing here, so we'll just have to see how those do. I have my rain gauge here, and it shows that I got 2 inches of water, of rainfall last night, so it's always nice to know how much rain I'm getting. I emptied that yesterday. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what I have growing in the garage. And before we get down there, I just want to show you this beautiful sugar maple tree. That's probably my favorite tree for fall color. It's just beautiful. So it's called a sugar maple. I'll show you some of the leaves here close up. Looks like we have some raking to do. That'll be something else we have to do this weekend. But anyway, The leaves are just really pretty. They get all different colors of gold and then sometimes some red on them. This one looks like it's mostly gold and green this year. So that seems to be what we've experienced in my area as far as fall color. A lot of gold this year, not much red, but these little bushes have a beautiful color on them too. So this year I'm just overwintering the bottom of my pepper green stalk. So I have about, let's see, 5 plants in here. So those will be the only ones I overwinter as far as peppers this year. I have a habanada in there with some peppers on it. And I went ahead and I cleaned out the other tiers so they are ready to go for next year's season. I just wanted to go ahead and get that out of the way. So I dumped everything in wading pools and refresh the soil. So I've got that is ready to go for next year. Huge project out of the way already. And then my Meyer lemon tree. I've been picking so many lemons. Just wonderful. I'm going to share a recipe with you soon, a couple of recipes for how to use Meyer lemons. Alright, and then I'll show you some more plants over here. I have a little aloe vera plant that I've had in here forever. And it likes the temperature in the garage. It does real well. However, sometimes I forget to water it, but it seems to always hang in there. So I've had it for a while. And of course, here is my kaffir lime tree. It is touching the top of the garage door there. So it's doing real well. What will probably happen with this, as it has every year, is most of the leaves will fall off of this tree because it doesn't get much sunlight in the garage. I used to keep it indoors, but I've tried to start moving all plants that have soil, that have been outside. I try to keep them in the garage and out of my living space because of bugs. And because I grow plants indoors that are not in soil, and I don't want to cross-contaminate, you know, with insects and have them get into my grow system. So I just put everything down here and I cross my fingers and hope for the best. And it's been working so far. And so I have a lot of limes on here. Hopefully you can see those. Okay, there's a lot of limes. I don't think I have as many as I did last year. Last year I got about 100 on here. Probably about 25 to 30 on here this year. Okay, and so down here, galangal plant. I have a calamandan, and then I have some Thai basil right there that was in that container already. I don't normally overwinter my basil, but it just happened to be in that container, so I don't mind at all. I love Thai basil, and I also have some growing indoors that I'll show you here in just a bit. And then of course my rosemary plants. And this is called pandan, I think. It's a Thai leaf that you use for flavoring things, like mostly desserts, and very similar to how you would use vanilla. You kind of infuse different custards and that kind of thing with it. I've used them before, but I bought them frozen at the Asian market, and they really have a nice flavor. So I haven't shown that to y'all this year, because I didn't know how it would do, and it's just really taken off. So I've had that about a year now. And then more rosemary. One of my little kaffir lime trees that I'm growing from seed. It's doing really well. Of course, the allspice tree. And then bay leaf right there. Some lemongrass. I always overwinter some lemongrass just to ensure that I have it the next year. And then 2 more kaffir lime trees right there. And I put a little tarp underneath my plants to keep them insulated from the cold concrete floor of the garage. So you really need to, if you do this too, you need to put, you know, something underneath your plants. I usually will put like a piece of wood or a tarp or something. Okay. And then of course dill right back in there in that little pot. And all of this gets some sunlight during the day through the garage doors. Now I also want to show you the sunlight exposure kind of in the afternoon through my garage doors, and this is what I mean. I do have some sunlight in here. I don't use artificial lights for these plants, and it works out pretty well. I mean, every year it's done real well, so I continue to do it this way. This is a south facing garage door, and because I live in the northern hemisphere, my southern windows get sunlight almost all day long. So there you go. That's how much light it gets. Alright, now let's head on up to the container garden. So a lot of the trees have lost their leaves, and we have just a few hanging on there, like the sugar maple I showed you. But now I'll show you what I have growing up here. Now I've moved most of my herbs over here close to the house. This just helps insulate them a little bit more. From when I have them over here on the left, it's just really cold over there. So, you know, some things that are doing okay. Well, this is a basil plant. Of course, it died, but I have had some parsley down there, so I don't want to pull that out yet until the parsley goes dormant. Now, it will stay alive through the winter, and then in the spring, it will probably start to grow and start to what's called bolt and produce seeds because it's a biennial. And so I will need to plant more parsley for next year, but I can still use it through the winter. So I'll leave it in there. Parsley is, you can, if you're growing it in the ground or somewhere, you can always just let it reseed in its one little area, and it should come back for you every year because it will reseed itself, much like a lot of herbs do that. So now over here I have tarragon. This will die when it starts to get really cold. It really does love the cool temperatures. Like here's another tarragon plant here, and then it will die completely back, and then probably about March I'll start to see some leaves pop up. Okay, and then of course thyme right there. My mint does not look very good. The very tips look fine. I can use that if I want to, but the other ones, you know, it's just had too much water, too much cold, but it'll be fine next year. It will also die back completely, but it will come back in the spring. Okay, my scallions. I don't know how much more these will grow for me since it's just really starting to get cold, but in the spring next year, especially if I put these way over close to the wall, they may do well through the winter. I just don't know. We get a lot of snow, and I don't, you know, protect the plants or anything, so a good snow might kill it. We'll just have to see. The chives will die back completely. You know, usually by January I have no signs of life in the container garden except for maybe a little parsley or cilantro. So the chives will die back. Sage, well, sage sometimes survives the cold snow. It's really looking nice for all the cold that we've had. Cilantro, this is Thai basil. I'm really surprised to see any green on there whatsoever. Very surprising there. And parsley, more chives, Greek oregano back there, more mint that doesn't look very good, more oregano right here. And then it looks like I need to shut my fountain down for the winter because there are just tons of leaves in there and it's just not able to pump water right now. So I need to dump all that water out and shut it down for the winter. And then I have dill here, which is, you can tell it's starting to brown and yellow a little bit. That's from, you know, just the cold temperatures. It gets a lot colder up here than it does in my square foot garden because we're just, you know, it's just higher up here. And then a lot of scallions and then more chives right there. So that's what's growing, and now I want to show you my indoor grow system. Okay, so here is the indoor grow system, and I have all 3 shelves up and growing. Right up here on the top one, I have mostly lettuce. I have Lola Rosa, frisee, and some red romaine. And then on the second shelf are mostly herbs. So I have a lot of basil. Some Thai basil is doing really well. I have some Italian basil also. And then right back there, if you can kind of see it, it's a cucumber plant. Now I've grown cucumbers in here before, and it really likes the natural sunlight. So I like to put it there at the back so it gets natural sunlight in addition to the artificial lights. I'm growing parsley also. So this year I'm growing herbs on my second shelf. And then on the bottom I have plenty of space where I can go ahead and start some more lettuce if I need to. And I also have watercress down there right now. So that's the indoor grow system. So if you have any questions about any of the plants that I've shown you, please leave them down below in the comment section and I'll be happy to help you. Thanks so much for watching. Y'all have a beautiful day.